Hi guys, this is my first ever looking into the camera video. Well, not first ever. I've recorded these for TikTok and Facebook, and I just thought I've been very inconsistent on here, so let me record a YouTube video. But these are very awkward. Like, this is very awkward because I have to do this intro. Usually when I record a TikTok video, I just get into it. I have to do this intro, which is feels like I'm talking to myself. But anyway, hi guys, my name is Nosipo, and I'm just gonna get into it. So, I was reading a book, and in this book, the author was basically saying that we shouldn't just have strong feelings about things without wondering the source, like where does it come from. And she went on to tell a story about her brother, how when they were younger, he was responsible for taking out the trash. And every time he would take out the trash, the bottom of the trash bag would always be soggy because they would throw watermelons in there. As a result, he started hating watermelon till this day. And it had me wondering, I don't like chocolate. I can't stand chocolate. Like, every time I say this, people get shocked, but I don't like chocolate. I don't like the taste. I don't like anything about it. And I was wondering, where does that come from? And I found a source. This is something that happened 10 years ago, though I was 15. And this story involves one other person, and there's a 50% chance that they might see this video. But it doesn't matter because it happened 10 years ago and I've moved past it and I've forgiven her. Okay, so we were in grade 9. I don't remember everything about that day, but I do remember some things. I think we had left school early. Yeah. Anyway, we left and I decided that we go back to my place. My aunt and uncle were not home. I decided that we go back to my place. So we did. We went back to my place. We chilled, watched TV. And then around 12 p.m., I'm like, let me walk you, because she had to go back to her place. While we're walking, she comes up with this crazy idea that we go to thingy. There was a shopping center close to where I lived. She suggests that we go to the to ShopRite to steal a chocolate. I know. So initially, I was not on board, I'm not gonna lie, because I come from a strict family and I knew that if I ever got caught, I would get in serious trouble. So I was like, nah, we can't do that. And besides, we don't have, if we're not buying anything, we can't just walk into the shop and walk out. It's going to be suspicious. But eventually, she manages to convince me. And we go to the shop. The sun has disappeared, so the lighting has changed. But anyway, so we walk to the shop. We walk inside and we decide to, walk around first because we don't want to look suspicious. And we go to the stationery aisle. But the stationery aisle was the same aisle as the snack aisle, the chocolate aisle. So we check out different things and eventually we go to where the chocolates are. And when we get there, she picked the biggest chocolate bar. It wasn't the usual, the Cadbury chocolates that we usually eat. I don't even remember the name of that chocolate, but it was a big chocolate bar. And it probably wouldn't have even been nice. I think it was, those dark chocolates. But anyway, we take that chocolate and she's like, put it under your shirt. I'm like, why should I put it under my shirt? She's like, I'm wearing a light shirt. If I put it under mine, we're gonna get caught. And honestly, that made sense because her shirt was like lemon, almost see-through. So, and I was wearing a dark gray shirt. So it made sense to put it under my shirt. And I took the chocolate, put it under my shirt, and then we decided to walk out. Cool. As we're walking out, oh my god, I could feel that something was gonna happen. But anyway, we walk out. When we get to the door, the security guards, she was walking ahead of me. They search her. While they're searching her, or obviously at that point we knew that we were gonna get caught. They search her, they don't find anything. She walks out and they search me. They find the chocolate. Not her trying to walk away after they find the chocolate on me. And I tell the lady, I'm like, we're together, and the lady grabs her as well. They take us to the back And they set us there for a while, without saying anything to us. We were sitting with this other lady, and she kept, scaring us, telling us that, you're going to go to jail, or for a chocolate, you're going to have a criminal record for the rest of your life. And oh my gosh, I was so scared. At that point, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just like, we just need to apologize. We need to apologize, and hopefully they let us go. We're in trouble, but we just need, there's nothing that we can do at this point, right? The lady that brought us in comes at some point, and she interrogates us. Now they sit us down. We weren't even sitting like next to each other. She was sitting, because we were sitting, they set us on these stairs, right? And she was sitting, behind me. She wasn't sitting like right next to me. And we didn't talk the whole time that we were there. We didn't like have a conversation at all. We just kept looking at each other, like we were both looking scared. So the lady comes back, and she interrogates us now. She asks us, why did you guys steal a chocolate? Like, what are your parents gonna say about this? Blah 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 blah. And not this girl being like, I didn't see Unosibo take the chocolate. Like, what? She literally sat there and lied through her teeth. She was like, I didn't see her take the chocolate. We came here to check out school portfolios, and when we got to the door, I was shocked when you found the chocolate on her. We were working together, but I didn't see her take the chocolate. And she's saying all of this. She's not even she said all of that without looking at me once. And because I was under shock, because I was so shocked, I wasn't quick enough to defend myself. I'm looking at her, I'm so shocked, like I'm literally stunned. And I'm realizing in that moment that this whole thing was premeditated. She knew that if we got caught, she was going to blame it on me. She's looking directly at this lady. I'm looking back because she's sitting right behind me. I'm looking back, I'm looking at her, right? Because I'm so shocked. And she's looking straight at this lady. She's not looking at me once. She keeps lying. She keeps telling this lady, no, I didn't know. No, I didn't know. And I realize at this point that I have to defend myself. I can't just sit there and be like, I need to talk and I need to speak up for myself. So I tried to like defend myself. I tried to, tell this lady that, no, she's lying. Actually, there were two of them. It was two of them sitting there asking us questions. So I'm trying to now defend myself. I'm trying to tell them that, no, she's lying. It was actually her idea. And obviously now it sounds like I'm just, I don't have a leg to stand on, and I'm just thinking of the first thing that comes into my head. But yeah, I'm like, she was actually the one who came up with this idea, and I wasn't on board. At first I didn't want to do this, but eventually she managed to convince me, and we just keep going back and forth. And at some point these ladies are like, I guess I could tell that they were starting to believe her. They were buying her story. They were definitely buying her story. You could tell that they were taking her side. They were believing her because of the comments that they were making. They were also making some weird comments like, I look more like the criminal. And I'm assuming because I was darker than her. I'm dark skinned and she's like really, really light skinned. So they kept making comments like that, like I look more like the criminal, and listening to her, they were asking her questions like, yeah, so what happened next? Also this and this and that. And so they were giving her a platform to tell her lies. But anyway, so they set us there more. Like we sat on those days for so long. They keep going in and out. Where we were sat, like I said, we were sitting on the stairs. It was some weird room. The stuff kept going in and out. There was one guy though, who came in, and he stood there also listening to what was happening. And then he was like, there's no way you didn't see your friend take the chocolate. You guys walked in together and you were walking together the whole time. How did you not see her take this big ass chocolate bar and put it under her shirt? But she stuck to her story. So they set us there. At some point they left us, and we were sitting there together. We didn't look at each other at all. I remember just feeling so heartbroken. I think at that point I was not even thinking about the fact that I'm gonna get into trouble at home. I was just heartbroken because this is my best friend. How could she do this to me? And we sat there the whole time. We didn't talk. It was so cold. And I'm like, what is actually happening? Those moments where you feel like, I must be dreaming. There's no way this is happening. First of all, I stole a chocolate, which is already like shocking. Secondly, I got caught. Thirdly, my best friend threw me under the bus and lied on my name. Like, what is actually happening right now? Like, this can't be real. But anyway, eventually they come back. And they come back, they tell her that she has to go back to my place to tell my parents that I stole a chocolate. Not that we stole a chocolate. She has to go back to my place and tell my parents that I stole a chocolate. They ask her, do you know where she lives? She's like, yeah, I know where she lives. They're like, yeah, go to her place, tell her parents that she stole a chocolate and they need to come back to pay a bail, I guess, for me. And she did. She went back home and she told, she found my aunt and uncle. She told them that Sipo stole a chocolate and I was told to come and, report her, and tell you guys that you need to go to the shop to pay her bail. And she comes back with my aunt, and obviously my aunt yells at me, and I try to explain again that no, it was her idea. Yes, I did also do it, but it was her idea. She came up with this. She's not innocent, what. And my aunt just keeps yelling at me. She's like, like, why would you steal a chocolate? Oh my gosh, she keeps yelling at me in front of these people, and I'm just quiet at this point, and she's like, I'm not gonna give them the money. I'm not gonna pay your bill. You're gonna have to wait for your brother to come back from school. He's gonna be the one to bring the money. I'm not gonna pay the money right now. I'm gonna leave you here. So I sat there for hours. She left. I sat there for hours waiting for my brother to come back from school because my brother attended afternoon classes. I sat there waiting for him to come back from school. They let this girl go. After my aunt left, they were like, you can go. And it was as if they felt sorry for her. They asked her where she lives, and she told them where she lives. They were like, oh, you live far. How are you going to get home? She's like, I'm going to be walking. They're like, you need to start walking right now because, you're going to get home late and all. But anyway, they let her go. And I sat there by myself for hours thinking about this injustice, and betrayal. I'm like, how can my best friend do this to me? But anyway, I sat there. Honestly, I had no problem sitting there because I knew that when I get home, it was gonna go down. So I was like, it's okay, I'll sit here for as long as they want me to sit here. But anyway, I sat there. Eventually my brother came back from school. He came with the money, gave them the money, and before my brother got there, these ladies slapped me while I was sitting there. I guess that was their way. I guess that's something that they're supposed to do when someone steals. They're supposed to do something so that you don't come back and do it again. They slapped me, both of them. I remember they just kept slapping me. And then eventually my brother came back with the money, gave them the money, and then I walked out. That was one of the biggest injustices of my life, and the biggest betrayals of my life. I stopped trusting people from that day, and I stopped eating chocolate. That's where my dislike for chocolate comes from. But anyway, I'm really glad that we got caught that day, honestly, because I don't know what would have happened if we hadn't gotten caught. I wasn't a thief, I wasn't raised like that, and I've never been a thief. But I don't know what would have happened if they hadn't caught us. We probably would have continued shoplifting because we would have gotten away with it. At 15, something like that happens, you don't get caught. You're like, oh yeah, let's continue doing it, and you get better and better at it, and you become a criminal for the rest of your life. So I'm actually glad that we got caught that day. But yeah, I'm not happy with how the whole thing unfolded, but it's fine. 10 years ago, over it. Yeah.